All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers back with another video. And today's video, we are going to be talking about the Steelers finally listening to our calls, finally listening to our requests, as they are interviewing a 37-year-old for the offensive coordinator position, ladies and gentlemen. And not just a 37-year-old, but a 37-year-old with NFL experience. Before we get too far into the video, if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Once again, thank you guys for 400 subscribers. It's been a little bit since I uploaded. The Steelers got knocked out. There's other football happening. I'm kind of sad about the Steelers. As the season ended, it was kind of just, I don't know, it seemed like a bunch of negative things. It seemed like, no one was really happy with making the playoffs, which I get it, especially with how the season went and the things we kind of went through in the middle of the season. And so at the end of the season, it was just like a lot of negativity, a lot of, fire Tomlin, get rid of Kenny stuff. And I didn't really, I just didn't really want to talk about it, honestly. But now we have some news. We are in the game. We are interviewing coaches. And really, I'm not going to lie, guys, like for as much as I have clamored, as much as I have wished, as much as I have prayed for this guy, Matt Canada, to get out of here, I don't know shit about offensive coordinators, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't know, besides like, the Eric Bieniemys, and then like the head coaching trees, like the Sean McVays, the Kyle Shanahans, like those trees, like I understand that, but like as far as like individual people, there's been like Shane Waldron has been a name who's been brought up a bunch. Even Byron Leftwich has been brought up, which to me, I guess people are out on that. To me, it was just like cool, Byron Leftwich, but truthfully, I really don't know much. And so for me to like be like, oh, I want this coordinator, I want this coordinator, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just like you, man. It's me and you, man. We got to see what the Steelers are doing. And so they're interviewing Zacrobinson. And so I did a little bit of the research. I looked on the Wikipedia. And I mean, you see the headline right here. Shout out to Steelers Now, by the way, for this article. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. But if you peep the headline, LA Rams quarterbacks coach Zacrobinson would be the youngest coordinator ever hired by Mike Tomlin. And so I'm sure there's an article here about, just kind of his tenure in LA. Just a little quick, kind of spiel about LA Rams. So Zacrobinson has been on the Rams since 2019. I have the Wikipedia page pulled up, ladies and gentlemen. So he's been on the Rams in 2019. And if you think about the Rams, you think about the kind of successes they've had and the seasons they've had. In 2019, they went to the Super Bowl, I believe, and they played the New England Patriots, right? And this is a Rams Super Bowl team with, of course, a studded defense, Aaron Donald and those guys. So they had that. And then this is like Todd Gurley era, man. This is like Cooper Kupp, like just coming in. This is, oh man, who was their wide receiver one? Robert Woods, I believe, was their wide receiver one. And like they had Brandon Cooks or whatever. This is kind of a little bit ago, but I just kind of want to give, a summary of it. So Zacrobinson was the quarterback's coach for that year. And we know Jared Goff, we know kind of in the middle there, it didn't really work out. He goes to the Lions and he has a career resurgence for the most part. But hey, Zacrobinson kind of, being that guy for Jared Goff to get him to the Super Bowl, splendid, right? And then we fast forward a little bit. We know what happens. They get on the phone with Detroit, same team Jared Goff is on now. They're like, yo, Matt Stafford, get him over here, right? And, we were hype about it. Everyone was hype about it. But I think the consensus was kind of sleeping on Matt Stafford. Kind of like, all right, he's got that Detroit funk on him. He's not going to win. He's not that good. It's just a bunch of counting stats. And they get to the Super Bowl, man, and they win the Super Bowl, okay? And then fast forward, I believe, it wasn't last season, but this season, everybody is counting the Rams out. Everybody is like, bruh, the Rams are dead. It's not going to happen. They're not going to make the playoffs. Matt Stafford is washed. And they still make the playoffs, and I think they still had some solid quarterback play. And so Zacrobinson, him being the former quarterbacks coach of the Rams, I think he's actually current quarterbacks coach of the Rams, but he's about to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, man. So, I mean, just that on the resume right there is beautiful. And we talk about the NFL experience. So this guy, and this literally live on the fly research, man. Like, I didn't even know who Zacrobinson was. But on top of that, too, before we get into this, Sean McVay, he's coming from the Sean McVay coaching tree. And if we just kind of pull up this, ladies and gentlemen, look at this website I'm on. I'm telling you, I go all out for you guys, man. We look at the Sean McVay coaching tree. We look at Shane Waldron. He was the offensive. This is from 2019, by the way. We look at Shane Waldron, he was on the Seahawks, interviewing with Chicago right now, if not already signed. He's going to be an offensive coordinator. There's our guy, Zacrobinson, down there. We look over on the right, Wade Phillips, I believe is somewhere else. I feel like Wade Phillips is somewhere else. Joe Barry, I believe, is the defensive coordinator with the Packers. Not a good time for Joe Barry, but it's cool. We look at 2020. Kevin O'Connell, I believe, was a coach somewhere. I definitely have heard that name before. Zach Robinson's still there. Brandon Staley, now the head coach of the Texans, I want to say. Brandon Staley, head coach of the Texans. I think I'm tweaking. I don't think it's the Texans, but just kind of Chris Shula, another guy who's I'm pretty sure is a coach or at least interviewing for a position, right? So then we look at 2021. Raheem Morris, I believe, is still there, if not somewhere else. I really, I like this website, but I kind of want to just get off the point of like Sean McVay has had coordinators come straight from him and do well in the NFL, okay? So I wanted to mention that getting someone from the McVay tree is very special, very good, very signed in the right direction, in my opinion. And so we go up to Zach Robinson. Now, this is a guy who was a former quarterback drafted by the New England Patriots in the 7th round. He played on the Seahawks, played on the Lions, played on the Bengals. And then his first stint in the NFL was as a coach is on the Rams. And they've had success, man. They have definitely done their thing. They have definitely shown, some signs of life. They have definitely shown that, hey, maybe I got this whole quarterbacks coach thing. And the reason I'm showing this on the Wikipedia page is, ladies and gentlemen, we do have redacted former offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers up here. And if we show his kind of resume, this guy, it's Matt Canada, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Matt Canada. It's 2024, and we're still talking about Matt Canada. But I kind of just want to, compare it. So we signed Matt Canada, right, after he coaches at NC State, Pitt, LSU, Maryland, Pittsburgh Steelers. NC State, Pitt. Shout out to Pitt, big Pitt. Let's not sleep on Pitt, but come on. LSU, Maryland, boop, 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 boop. Hello? Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Okay, okay. I mean, this dude went from Maryland College to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was just the quarterbacks coach. He didn't go from Maryland to OC. But we took him out of college, or we took him from college, brought him on the team, and then promoted him from within. And Mike Tomlin talked about we wanted somebody with NFL experience, and this is a guy at the very least is coming off a very successful campaign in LA where he got Jared Goff to a Super Bowl as the quarterback's coach. Got Jared Goff paid too, if we want to talk about it, like as the quarterback's coach. And, not him, but he's there. He's there for it. So, that is him. And then we talk about Matt Stafford, who maybe was on the downside of his career, gets a Super Bowl. And then Matt Stafford, again, maybe on the downside of his career, and they succeed. They make the playoffs at least and win a playoff game, I'm pretty sure. Did they win a playoff game? No. They didn't win. They got beat by Detroit. It happens. But they looked pretty good in the game. And if you guys remember the consensus kind of opinions about the Rams in the preseason, it was not very good. It was like Matt Stafford's done, and he wasn't done. So just to me, based on what I've seen, based on what I've read, doing my little research, I'm here to tell you, Steelers might be cooking, man. Mike Tomlin might be cooking. And I'm excited. I really am excited. Now, I don't want to go all in once again on the Zach Robinson guy. No offense, unless we are all in. If we're all in, let me know. But there's going to be I'm pretty sure there's going to be other coaches that we're going to, or other candidates that we're going to interview. This guy isn't the only guy. But for him to be the first that we've brought in, and he's only 37, guy. Like, we're talking about, this dude was literally in the NFL in 2014. He was waived after failing his physical, and then in 2019, about 3 or 4 years later, he goes to coaching. And so this guy, literally a former quarterback 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago, man. Shout out to 2024, 10 years ago. Former quarterback 10 years ago in the NFL, probably didn't have the greatest of successes in the NFL, but still was there. Now we're bringing him over to the Steelers. I'm excited, and this is definitely a good sign. This is definitely a sign of life, a sign of, like, we hear you. And, let me know, man. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Once again, I know there are some other names like the Eric Bieniemys of the world, like the Shane Waldrons of the world, who I believe is going to be, picked up by the Bears. And so, yeah, let me know some people who you guys are interested in, some people who you think really could help us out. Who, honestly, whoever the 49ers got as their OC, get him. Get the Texans OC. Whoever their offensive coordinator is, get him. And the Texans, they run a pretty similar system to the 49ers, because I believe someone comes from the Shanahan tree. And so, that's that. But definitely, we got to get one of these guys. We definitely have to get a younger guy, a younger mind, because that's just where the league is, man. These offenses are cooking, and it's time for us to be a part of that. It's time for us to score some points, and it's time for us to have our offensive coordinator of the future. I did want to kind of go to Twitter and see some of Steeler Nation, some of the Steeler talking heads, kind of what they think and gather their opinions, and just to show you I'm not the only one excited about this. So here we got Nick Farba. Shout out to Nick Farba. I've showed his tweets before. So why Zacrobinson could make a lot of sense for the Steelers. He's from the McVay tree. Passing game upswing under his guidance as a pass game coordinator. Philosophical, McVay run scheme is similar to the Steelers, and he has experience developing / working with quarterbacks. So yeah, I kind of touched on all these, I feel like, from the McVay tree. The passing game upswing under his guidance as a pass game coordinator. Passing game upswing under, what does that mean? Like, we're throwing bombs. Hey, man, maybe that's what that means to me. Run scheme similar to the Steelers. We know we run the football very well. We would definitely like to keep that going. And he has experience developing / working with quarterbacks. We talked about Jared Goff, him hitting a Super Bowl on the Rams. Once again, they were a pretty good team. But Goff, man, how do you guys feel about Jared Goff? Random question, but I feel like every time I talk about Jared Goff, it's either like he's the GOAT or like some people are like he's shit. How do you guys feel about Jared Goff if you're this far in the video? And then what else do we have? We have something else too. Yeah, this one has me dead. So the Steelers have requested an interview with Zacrobinson, a 37-year-old rising star on the Rams offensive staff, and someone's a young nerd on the McVay / Shanahan tree. Young nerd is crazy, but you guys kind of get it, right? We need an analytical, we need that kind of guy. That's hilarious. And then this one absolutely took the cake, man. We got OC jersey edits now. This fan base is so down bad for a good offensive coach. OC jersey edits, bro. Like, what are we? Where are we at in life that we are doing this? Hey, man, I'm excited. I really want us to get better. I really want us to show something. I really want to win a fucking playoff game, man. And if the Bills, the Bills went down yesterday. If the Bills would have played us on the day they were supposed to, maybe we're still in the playoffs, man. I don't know. But, just literally a jersey mock-up of an offensive coordinator just goes to show you where we're at in Steeler Nation, where we're at with our thinking. And, I had to make a video about it because we are in the off season. So definitely expect a lot of videos like these with the coaching, with the free agency, with the draft. Speaking of the draft too, I don't know if I want to do like a full exact mock draft, but I definitely have a lot of things to talk about, especially with like the positions of need. As far as like actual players, I'm not, the most in depth with it. But I definitely know the positions that we need, and it would be fun to do some mock drafts or something just to kind of see where people fall and, maybe some potential moves to get, the most bang for our buck. Maybe some trades. I don't know. Something like that. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned in the future for that. Anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it for this video as, once again, we got OC in a Steelers jersey, man. So, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, if you guys are excited for the Steelers offseason, if you are excited, maybe your team's still in the playoffs. If you're excited to watch football, man, there's 4 teams left. Everybody else, we're making videos like this. We're rooting for offensive coordinators. So, yeah, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video, man. Peace out.